Hey guys, how's it going? Dan here with episode 4 for the during the Pokedex series, during the Zukan. And we have Hitokage today. So Charmander, Hitokage. So we'll start with the name. It's pretty straightforward. Tokage is actually lizard. And he comes from he, so fire. So just fire lizard, Hitokage. Pretty straightforward. You almost always see Tokage in katakana, but it does have kanji, like lots of animal names. There are kanji for them. Usually they're very confusing, very detailed kanji that are quite complicated and you won't see often. But just so you know, out of curiosity, you might enjoy learning about those. So we'll bring up the furigana first if you've had a chance to try and read the kanji. Okay, here it comes. So let's have a read through. 尻尾で燃える炎、生命力の現れ、元気がないと炎が弱まる。And that's from Pokemon Scarlet. So we'll bring up the English now. Again, I've sort of had a look at the official one to compare, and it's pretty similar. This is just sort of what I came up with. And again, you're always welcome to try and think of your own translation before I bring up the English. So here we go. The flame on its tail shows its life force. When it's feeling weak, the flame also gets weaker. Okay, so let's go through some of the vocab. So the first one we have is shippo, which is tail, and you might also see that just as hiragana, but that's for tail. And then we have moeru, to burn, and you might have seen this as well if you've traveled around Japan much and gotten confused by the different garbage and recycling systems and where you can throw certain items and paper and whatnot, because you might see moeru gomi. So burnable rubbish is one of the categories of rubbish in Japan. Then we have hono. So you can see the kanji, if you know the kanji for hi or ka or fire, you can just see it's the fire kanji twice. So instead of fire, it's more like flame or blaze. So it's just like fire, but stronger and bigger. The next one is interesting, seimei yoku. So this one's life force or your existence is seimei. With the yoku or chikara or power at the end, you'll often see that at the end of different words implying a sort of effort or power. So another example is you might know shuchu suru, to concentrate, but if you replace that suru and add shuchu yoku, that's your concentration. Settoku suru is to persuade someone. Settoku ryoku is your persuasiveness. So it's sort of like the power of that, I guess, action. And there's lots of different set phrases that do use this yoku at the end. So you might see that from time to time. After that, we have araware, which is just sort of indication, maybe expression. So the expression of the flame on its tail, expressing its life force or power. Next, we have genki, which we had before, which is like energy or vigor or vitality, but we have a bit of a grammar one. So genki ga nai to hono wa yowamaru. So something ga nai to. So nai to you might have seen as something similar is, for example, genki ga nakattara. So they're both similarly used but have a different nuance. So something ga nai to is if something happens and then it leads to something else sort of more naturally. So, for example, if it has no energy, then it leads to the flame on its tail weakening, right? But, for example, if it's tara, so maybe genki ga nakattara, so tara, that's more than if something happens, then afterwards something occurs. And it's less more like a leading effect. So, an example sentence I thought of was "Maego ni nattara denwa shite kudasai." So if you get lost, then call me. It's not sort of a cause and effect. It's just this happens afterwards. Please do this as the following action. And then we have yowamaru. So this is another interesting one where you might have seen, for example, there's other words like takamaru. So yowamaru is to weaken. Takamaru is to rise or grow. Tsuyomaru is to gain strength. So you might have seen tsuyoku naru, right? As an also, to gain strength, to get stronger. And if you're thinking, how is tsuyoku naru and tsuyomaru different? Tsuyoku naru has more intent. So maybe you've been practicing, maybe you've been training, and that's why you got stronger. 強くなる. 強くなった. But 強まる is something that maybe happened naturally over time. You weren't intending for it to happen. Maybe you didn't even think about it, but you just got stronger naturally due to whatever happened. So those are some interesting grammar and words to compare there. Hopefully that's not too confusing. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like or comment if you have any questions. I can try and get to some of those. It is a bit of a complex grammar point, that Naito, but if you do a little bit of research, it's something that hopefully should become natural after you've seen some more example sentences. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode and look forward to the next one, number 5, Charmeleon. It'll be a good one. See ya.